Dr. Jack Wands began his professional journey at Washington State University, where he completed his undergraduate studies and went on to earn his medical degree at the University of Washington School of Medicine. There, he discovered his passion for gastroenterology and the complexities of liver diseases. His dedication to his work led him to a residency at Johns Hopkins and then a gastroenterology fellowship with the prestigious team at Massachusetts General Hospital and Harvard University. He made groundbreaking discoveries that paved the way for new diagnostic techniques and treatment options for patients. He moved to Brown University as a full professor, and over the past 25 years, he built the Liver Research Center, where he continued his innovative approach to liver cancer research. His studies on the molecular mechanisms of the disease provided crucial insights into its development, progression, and metastasis. By identifying key biomarkers and signaling pathways, he opened new avenues for early detection and targeted therapies. Dr. Wands believed that collaboration and interdisciplinary approaches were essential in the fight against liver and other cancers. He mentored countless students, fellows, and physicians, instilling in them a passion for scientific inquiry and a commitment to improving patient outcomes. He fostered partnerships between researchers, clinicians, and industry leaders to accelerate the translation of scientific discoveries into clinical practice. His vision for the future of liver cancer research included personalized medicine, where treatments would be tailored to each patient's unique genetic makeup and disease characteristics. Dr. Wands advocated for increased funding and resources to support this vision, recognizing the potential to revolutionize cancer care. His efforts culminated in promising cancer therapies, using the body's immune system to fight the disease, that could greatly affect patient survival. By continuing and completing this research, Dr. Jack Wands' contributions to chronic liver diseases and cancer research will continue to shape the field for years to come.
Dr. Wands was very acceptive and very dedicated to education, mentorship, and making sure that people who were here learned a lot, proceeded a lot, and then went on to successful careers in science.
My association with Dr. Wands and the Liver Research Center was when I went to join the lab in 2009 for the purposes of a PhD. When I arrived, I had been trained as a clinician, but had no experience whatsoever in the basic science studies, and in fact, had never held a pipette in my life. I was warmly welcomed by Dr. Wands, Dr. Delamonte, Rolf, and the other members of the lab, and was taught everything that I needed to know in order to complete my project.
I want to tell you about Dr. Jack Wands and the importance of his career in science and medicine in terms of leadership, optimism, creativity, diligence, and sharing. Over the 20+ years that I've known him and worked with him, he has done an amazing job in developing ideas for young investigators, bringing them from the level of junior student scientists to full professors all across the world.
I joined the Liver Research Center in 2010 for 2 years after I collaborated with them during my undergraduate research project. I was under the direct supervision of Dr. Wands, and I learned a ton from my colleagues who studied liver disease in broad areas, which allowed for collaborations, exchange of ideas, and a real sense of camaraderie that is hard to find elsewhere. More importantly, I got tremendous career advice and mentorship, which even continued after I left the lab, which has led me to where I'm at today as a physician scientist at Washington University in St. Louis.
So we first met Jack nearly 30 years ago, first as a research fellow, postdoc fellow, and then as an independent faculty. Jack was a very nice mentor and a boss, always supportive, encouraging, and inspiring.
I would like to take a moment to share my personal experience working with Dr. Wands and his amazing lab. 6 years ago, I met Dr. Wands, and he introduced me into the world of hepatology research and welcomed me into his lab. For the following years, we worked together on various projects, mainly focused on non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Our work together led to several publications, while last year I personally received the Emerging Liver Scholar Award by the American Association for the Study of Liver Disease. My collaboration with Dr. Won's lab improved my research skills and marked my first steps into academic hepatology, solidifying my thoughts for pursuing a career in this amazing field. I'm just one among many whose careers in hepatology were saved by Dr. Won's mentorship and his amazing lab.
We were initially trained as a called PhD, so more into the details, scientific details. While Jack, he was a medical doctor, so he saw the big picture. He eventually, why do you study this virus? You want to cure the virus.
I was fortunate enough to be mentored by Dr. Wons and work as a graduate student at the Liver Research Center between 2007 and 2015. If you try to quantify the scientific impact of the Liver Research Center by counting the number of scientific articles published, you would undoubtedly be impressed. There are hundreds of articles, some of them were cited over 1,000 times. But even these impressive numbers only give a partial view of the true impact of the lab, because the most important impact of the Liver Research Center is the whole generation of researchers and clinicians that were trained under Dr. Won's mentorship.
We definitely feel like we lost a leader, but the inspiration that he gave us is something that motivates us to carry on. We seek to see that some of the visions that he had are something that can continue and be realized.
It is my wish that people like me in the future may have similar opportunities offered to them in laboratories like the LRC. May the legacy and brilliance and scholarship and mentorship of Dr. Wons live on.
After working with him for more than 30 years, I found he's really very good, very nice mentor, boss, always supportive and inspiring.
I worked with Jack Wons from 1984 to 1992, and he was my major mentor during this time. I continued my work on liver cancer after I left Jack Wons' lab to join and create a new lab in Lyon first, in France, and later on I returned back to my country of origin, Turkey, and created there several centers and continued to work on liver cancer. During my whole scientific career, Jack was one of the major mentors who taught me how to do research for the benefit of patients.
Yes, yeah, we have lots of people coming from, say, Germany, France, Japan, China. So it's really kind of like an international society. So people coming all different backgrounds. It's really a learning experience of different cultures.
Perhaps one of the biggest things and challenges we have going forward, and I really perceive this to be one of the main reasons for keeping this legacy in the research tract alive, pertains to the ASPH story. We know now that this protein and this gene is overexpressed in many tumors, and because of that and because of how it works, we're finding ways to interfere with its actions and halt the growth of tumor cells.
We'd really like to see his vision continue. We'd like to see his work continue. We'd like to see some of the important therapies that he was developing proceed. And we would really appreciate help in seeing that this can happen.